Akronhiphop.com, the reporter, newspaper, online.com, and hard copy. It's your boy Cat Israel with a special episode of Politically Speaking. Honest, fair.
Black everywhere.
Speaking of black everywhere, you see who we have right here. Now, I would like to say her name, but I'm going to let Miss Lady say who she is and what she represents right now. So, who are you and what do you represent?
I'm Diana Autry, and I am happy to be here, citizen of Akron, serving on the Akron Public School Board.
That's so dope. Now, I'm not gonna lie, guys. I kind of want to be a principal. Like, I used to watch Joe Clark and Lean on Me. That was one of my favorite movies. So I wanted to have the bat and like, hey man, go to the class, get your grades, education. But that's not my job. But this is her job. She's on the school board. So first of all, we're gonna get with the first question of the day. Why are the city of Akron students going to school, but other areas surrounding Akron is not going to school?
Okay, so let me just start off by saying I was able to hit the ground running. I was just newly sworn in on January 13th. Shortly after that, COVID hit. So that has basically dominated the world, as you know.
Yeah.
And there's no manual for how to handle a COVID epidemic. So that being
White
said,
House,
right.
set the game up, by
Right.
the way.
So that being said, I'm going to answer your question, but I just want to let everybody know one of the first things that this school board did was make it easier for the public to address the school board. Akron Public Schools has an enrollment of over 21,000 students, and it is impossible for 7 school board members to know everything that's going on and everything about each school. So one of the things that was important to us is making it more accessible for families to come and educate us, share their concerns, so that we can be responsive to the community. So we did change our policy under the leadership of our Vice President, Dr. N.J. Akbar. Thank you.
Shout out to the doctor.
Yes, so that it is easier to address the school board. Prior to the policy change, you had to give 3-day notice. We had to vet what you were talking about. So now you can sign up the same day to address the school board. You can even pre-record a video to send to us so that we can hear your concerns. And you can go to akronschools.com and find out more about that. So I just wanted to make sure everybody knows that, because it's important that we hear from you.
Yeah, that's pretty dope because with the COVID-19 procedures, social distancing, all that good stuff that we know so far with the rules that we acquired on the fly, by the way. So it's nice that some people who not be able to make it to a school board meeting can actually do a pre-recorded message to the school board. That's awesome. Really, knocking it out the park. The next thing, speaking of COVID-19, how is COVID-19 impacted when it comes to students' abilities to learn in a school setting or in a home setting right now?
So you asked me why Akron schools are not in school versus other districts. So let me answer that question and go into what you just asked me just now. So Akron Public Schools actually is attending school virtually. And one thing that put Akron Public Schools at an advantage is that we already had one-to-one computing, meaning every single one of our 21,000 students have Chromebooks.
Oh, that's so dumb.
So we were already equipped to be able to flip our district essentially to remote learning. So if you compare that to most other districts, we were really at an advantage. So that is one thing. But we have started back remotely, and it was based purely on the safety of our students. 21,000 students is a lot to manage.
Yes,
and I hear some folks, have criticism about how come we aren't like XYZ school in suburbia. And I just want to remind people that Akron is a public school district with over 21,000 students and over 40 school buildings. So it's kind of comparing apples to oranges when you want to compare us to private schools or districts that have one high school.
Yes.
So, but again, our students were equipped with one-to-one computing. COVID did expose the inequities in education across the country. Internet Wi-Fi that is so essential to remote learning is not something that everybody has.
That's true.
Especially when you think about rural communities. But again, luckily, Akron Public Schools had a lot of support with that, and any student or family who did not have Wi-Fi capabilities were provided with that.
Now, how has COVID-19 impacted when it comes to like parents being involved in their children's learning abilities and process?
So one thing that I think COVID has brought to the surface is the need for parents and families to be more involved in their students' education. Schools aren't babysitters.
That's true.
Parents and families need to be involved and know what their children are learning and to support the teachers. And then they really are getting to see how their students behave in class. But I just want to remind folks that there is help and support because it is a challenge. It's not easy to supervise your students, but they need that supervision just to keep them on track. And if families are having challenges with that, they can always call the school district. We have connectors, people who can come out to your home and help support you with technology, and to also refer you to other resources that you might need as far as food, etc.
Oh.
So that is something.
That's really awesome. Side question though, how is all that like combined with like the PTA meetings? How is like PTA meetings impacted during COVID? Is it like through Zoom meetings, or is it less through like one-on-one contact with like the school district?
So it would depend on the individual PTA. I can say, speaking about Boothville PTA, who I have a strong history with, you know, when COVID hit, it just kind of put everything on the back burner for us as people were dealing personally with the pandemic. But the need is still there to support our students and the staff and the schools. So, you know, some PTAs are meeting virtually. And there's different ways to go about that. Again, this COVID has shown us that we have to be creative in our solutions.
Okay, and we're about to wrap it up soon. But I got one more question to ask you real quick. You being an African American on a school board, how does that image and your involvement with the school board impacts African American children, not only in all the school buildings that they go to, but the Boothville cluster? I had to talk about them a little bit. 1040.
So Akron Public Schools is approximately 50% African American. So I am proud to be a representative for Black people and all children, you know, for Akron Public Schools. That being said, Akron Public Schools was the first school district in Ohio to declare racism as a public health crisis. And again, thanks to the leadership of Dr. N.J. Akbar. And that's an example of how having Black representation on the school board can help advance the causes for Black students and all students in the district, because they need to see Black people in leadership in our essence, doing what we do best.
They paint positive images every day, 97, Brother Hiram. So I'm saying that we thank you for this lovely interview, stopping by our office. You know, this is your boy Cat Israel with another episode of Politically Speaking. Honest, fair,
Black everywhere.
peace.